Welcome back to PerpTech Daily. I'm Aaron. In today's episode, as always, we're going to be covering the Hyperliquid and lighter news in the tokenization sector. We're also going to be covering some news in the PumpFun and meme coin sector, and also some macro stuff as well. Let's get straight into it. So let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now is not looking too good. We're going to zoom in real close here. It's broken down to 62,000, and the rest of the altcoins are starting to dump as well. If I'm being honest, once again, we say this every day in the show, but I think it's personally this year going to dump to the 40 to 50 range, and we'll see if it happens. Maybe it doesn't happen. Take a look at Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid's still still continuing to dump off. It's still holding in this range, but I think it is likely it will probably dump lower. Maybe we see a bottom around 45. Maybe we see a bottom around 50, something like that. Lighter having a big dump day. Not too shocked at this. Lighter's been one of the better performers. So normally, if it's been performing well and then Bitcoin starts to dump, it's probably going to dump harder than the rest that have kind of already started to tail off. You can see Solana here sitting around 72 bucks. I hate to say this, but it is, I could very well see it coming down to like 50 bucks, something like that. Or maybe it just stops around 60, something like that. PumpFun still looking good, up 5% today. Actually pretty shocking. Meteora, just still chopping this range. Meteora actually looks great right now. It really, really does. But if Bitcoin does make that move down to 40 to 50K, expect Hyperliquid, Lighter, Solana, Meteora, PumpFun, all those coins, all across the board to dump pretty hard, and then they'll rebound, and then we'll see who kind of catches the first leg up. But now let's go to our macro story for today. JP Morgan, Citi, UBS, and other major banks successfully test tokenized cross-border payment settling transaction in an average of 80 seconds. And I think the big takeaway from this is the fact that more and more TradFi is starting to care about tokenization and the crypto space and all that kind of stuff. And I think that trend is going to continue. I think we're going to see kind of a merge of DeFi and TradFi. I don't think it's going to be DeFi takes over the world or TradFi, bans DeFi. I think it's going to be the two sectors merging together to kind of create this new financial system. That's my prediction on what the next 10 to 20 years of fintech and I guess TradFi and stuff, how that's going to look. Anyways, to our first story for Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid HIP4 permissionless deployments just went live on testnet. So if you don't know what HIP4 is, it's basically their prediction market. So they now are allowing people to deploy permissionless prediction markets. And in order to, I could be a little bit wrong on this one, but I'm pretty sure it's in order to deploy the permissionless prediction markets, you have to stake a certain amount of Hyperliquid, and what that will do is that will create a supply shock on the hype, or create more pressure and more supply shock on the hype token. All right. It says deploying has no gas cost. Capacity is instead bounded by per deployer limits. There we go. Staking requirement. Active deployers must maintain the staking requirement 100 hype on testnet for as long as it remains an outcome deployer. So if a ton of people start deploying prediction markets on Hyperliquid, then you just have more and more and more hype getting locked up. Requirements stack with the deployer's other staking requirements. Take a look at this from Jeff in the Hyperliquid Discord. Jeff is the founder and CEO of Hyperliquid. He says the initial implementation of HIP4 permissionless deployments is live on testnet. Additional features will be iteratively rolled out, including configurability fees and more testnet templates. Feedback is appreciated. All right. Now let's go to Lighter. So Lighter introduced their new referral program. Refer traders earn up to 30% of the fees they pay and receive weekly USDC payouts. So if you are a Lighter, you're a Lighter fan, you're a marketer or something like that, this is definitely something you want to pay attention to, because you can make money from the Lighter referral links, and 30% is actually super aggressive and really nice. And I really like to see this. Not only is Lighter putting in work on the technology side, but they're also putting on work in the marketing side, and they're working on their distribution. At the end of the day, distribution is king. You can have the best technology ever, but if literally nobody ever finds out about it, then it's not going to get distributed. So you need both. You need really good technology, which is the most important part, but you also do need good marketing too. So yeah, pretty cool. And I want to talk about this right now. I want to talk about the ETH bull case. So I flipped my position on Ethereum, okay? And I am historically in ETH not a fan of Ethereum. I've said a lot of negative things about it, I will admit. And I'm still convinced that it's not one of the best trades in the market. But for a large cap, like a top 10 coin, it may actually end up being a good trade this next cycle. And it is very possible, I think this next cycle, it could actually go to something like $7,000, $8,000. It's possible. If we take a look at the price of Ethereum right now, let's kind of just go over the history of Ethereum real quick. So I'll tell you the reasons why I historically did not like it until this past couple of months, okay? So Ethereum's been around and launched in 2015. The people who bought the ICO, so the pre-sale, you could basically say, for Ethereum, literally got a 20,000x, I'm pretty sure. A 10,000 or 20,000x, okay? So the people who bought Ethereum really early, and even people who bought it on the open market, so you can see here, you could buy it on the open market for 90 cents, 80 cents, $1, $12, $10. They made a ton of money, a ridiculous amount of money. It was a massive wealth creation event. And what that did was it created this community and very tribalistic aspect to Ethereum and everything. In 2017, Ethereum was really big. It was, once again, we had the ICO boom and Ethereum was really new. It pumped. Cardano pumped. A lot of things pumped in 2017. It was brand new innovation. And in the 2021 bull run, Ethereum continued to innovate. This is when we saw, DeFi summer in 2020. And then we saw the bull run really kick off. And you look at these prices that Ethereum went to. This is crazy. And this is when DeFi was really starting to take off. Uniswap was starting to take off. And things were just raging. Everyone thought, oh my God, Ethereum can flip Bitcoin. Look at this, so much potential, blah, blah, blah. We saw the bear market come. Okay, the bear market comes. And then what happens is Solana steals the show. One of the biggest problems with Ethereum was the fact that, hey, we don't like the gas fees. We don't like the gas fees. Too much, too expensive. Not user friendly. And it wasn't. If you were in crypto back in these days, dude, the fucking NFT minting. Oh my God, you had to pay like $200 just for one transaction. It was ridiculous. So we saw Solana kind of steal the show. And because of that, Ethereum lost mindshare. And it also lost just, how much volume it was being done on the chain. And really, if I'm being honest, it didn't really have a good bull case until now. Now, why have I flipped bullish on Ethereum? Let's talk about it real quick. Well, to be very blunt, I think the biggest bull case Ethereum has by far is Robinhood Chain. They have Robinhood Chain, which has the best distribution probably of any blockchain in crypto if they do what they need to do. That's the truth. Robinhood is more popular than every app in crypto. It's more popular than Solana. It's more, everyone has that fucking app downloaded who's under the age of 30. If the Robinhood team does what they do and they really push crypto, dude, it's going to have massive distribution. And that chain is built on Arbitrum, which is, built on Ethereum. So they have Robinhood Chain. And on top of that, they have Lighter as well. So Lighter is built on Ethereum. And it's an L2 on Ethereum, okay? And the reason why Lighter chose to build on Ethereum is because of the security aspect, okay? Uniswap, because of Robinhood Chain, has also started to do really good numbers, okay? Uniswap's been running a little bit lately, but Uniswap has been doing a lot of money because of Robinhood Chain. Robinhood Chain is a really big catalyst for Ethereum, and it's also the big catalyst for Lighter, okay? And it's the catalyst for Uniswap. Robinhood Chain has a ton of potential. And also, I think the reason another bull case you can make for Ethereum besides Robinhood Chain is the fact that a lot more, let's just say, enterprises, if they want to deploy an L2, they would probably deploy on Arbitrum, similar to what Robinhood did. Arbitrum's built on Ethereum. So basically, they would build on ETH because of the security aspect. Ethereum's been around for a long time. It has a large set of validators, and because there's a lot of validators in Ethereum, this makes the network very secure, okay? Now, if you look at the Ethereum price, you can see it did a double top. It literally double topped. It barely made a new all-time, but this is practically a double top. And if I'm being honest here, it's sitting still at like a $200-300 billion market cap. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my God, there's so much upside, when truthfully, it's still the Ethereum trade was back here. That's kind of my point. Like if you want something super, if you're like a super giga whale, like, yeah, I'd understand why you may want to get an ETH. Personally, I don't want to get an ETH because the trade for Ethereum, the last time it was good was back in 2020. Like if you got it in 2020, that was a good trade. You got like a solid like 20, 30, 40x. So I am bullish on Ethereum. I'm bullish on the ETH ecosystem. I'm very bullish on Lighter. I think Lighter's going to do good. I think Ethereum needs Lighter to do good. I think Uniswap will do good. I think Robinhood Chain and Solana will lead the bull run. I think it's going to be interesting to see which one ends up in first place, Solana or Robinhood Chain. But I do think there's a legitimate bull case for, you know, Ethereum now. I think it's undeniable. And I think this is kind of a big thing in crypto is you always have to be willing to pivot your viewpoints and, be humble. There's no reason to be like toxically against something or toxically for something. If something changes, you have to adjust your position. So, yeah. Anyways, let's talk about PumpFun now. So I went over the stat yesterday, tweeted out by one of the co-founders of PumpFun. And Mike Dudas, who's one of the large investors in PumpFun, put this out. He said, insane stat, something like 93% of active wallets on Solana in a given day in July 2026 are using PumpFun, the number one revenue producing on-chain app this past week. Literally made the most money this past week in all crypto. Absolutely ridiculous. And the team shipped this out today, or yesterday. USDC trading is live on the PumpFun app. Trade with 0% on any token on Solana, Robinhood, BNB, Base, and Ethereum through your USDC balance. No more native tokens, no more friction. The internet's fastest cross-chain trading app just got better. Join now. PumpFun is an absolute monster, and I think this team is going to be vindicated after this next bull run. They were, I don't know why there's some people who really, really hate the team. Now, I can see why, because the team is very edgy. Like, if you're someone like me, you like PumpFun, you like their team, because you kind of find the edgy stuff funny. The founder of PumpFun is literally, he's very young. He's actually the same age as me. So he's this young, I think he's 23 years old. He's a multi-billionaire, and he's just, honestly, it's a fucking genius. And their team is so hardworking too. But they have done some things that are pretty edgy in the past. I liked it, and I think a lot of people liked it. But there's also some people who didn't like it. And that's the reason I think they're kind of overhated somewhat by the industry, despite putting up ridiculous numbers. And they're always shipping. They have the best, honestly, like a lot of the best products in crypto when it comes to consumer finance is from PumpFun. Their team makes the most money in crypto. They are the most, right now, in the past week, they did the most money out of any product in crypto. That's it. And their team is constantly shipping. So I'm bullish PumpFun. Let's take a look at this. Let's go over some some metrics. Pump right here in the last 24 hours, 1. That's 7 days, 1. Last 30 days, let's see how it did. Number 4, only behind Uniswap. And Uniswap is number 1 because of Robinhood Chain. Number 3 on the 7-day. And number 3, only behind the stablecoin issuers. Ridiculous. So, anyways, that was a good episode. If you guys enjoyed this episode of our Friday, news and everything, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Probably gonna take off this Saturday. I think Sunday I'll be able to get up a video, not a news video, because we do the news Monday through Friday. But tomorrow I think I'm probably gonna use my weekend Saturday break day, and then Sunday I'll put up a video of some sort. I'll probably talk about the ETH. I'll probably talk about my ETH position flipping. And yeah, also make sure to go follow me on X, join the Discord, and all that good stuff. See ya tomorrow or something, or in a couple days.